Thanks very much for joining. And yeah, we definitely here. We want to discuss fatherhood. I know we've got Father's Day. Oh, mommy, thank you very much for confirming that you can hear me. Yeah, we've got Father's Day in 2 days, and I don't know, what have you got? Have you made any, special provisions for daddy, for your dad, whoever looks after you in terms of fatherhood? Have you made any special provisions? Have you bought any special presents? Let me know whether you've already done that, or you actually waiting until what, Sunday morning, before you tend to. Hi there, JOS Cupcakes. Thanks very much for joining in. Yeah, today we definitely want to have a quick, live to talk about fatherhood. We definitely know that Father's Day is coming. We've only got some few days. And just like I posted on Instagram, we're not really hearing that much, in terms of when Mother's Day is coming up. I may be wrong, but yeah, I'm really convinced when it comes to Father's Day, it doesn't really get that much attention. But yeah, I definitely feel, hello. So for any of you who've just joined us, yes, it's Nana Mensah here, Nana SA. We just wanted to make sure that we could quickly have a quick catch up and yeah, talk about fatherhood. We've got Father's Day coming up. We've got what, just about 2 days. Let me know, have you made any special provisions? Have you booked anything special? I don't know, whatever preparations that you've made. For myself, I'm still hopeful. I don't know the preparations that maybe my children have made for me, my wife has made for me. I don't know. I can definitely hear. Yeah, Joyce Cupcakes is saying that what, Father's Day is definitely on the schedule. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I hope we will definitely have testimonies coming back. Okay. So yeah, I think definitely we should be able to encourage that as much as possible. But yeah, I think maybe guys, we can definitely jump into it for us to be able to discuss that. And I think for me, the reason why I wanted us to be able to discuss, fatherhood, maybe primarily within the Black and minority community, I think I've been reflecting on it for a period of time now, and I felt, yeah, hi Sam, thanks very much for joining in. I think, I'd already said to the very few who are joined in that I wanted us to discuss fatherhood within the Black and minority communities. I presume that the word fatherhood may be a word that is common within whatever background you're coming from, but within our community, yeah, it's a unique experience. I don't know whether we can focus on the diaspora or we can focus, generally within the Black and minority, communities. But I think one of the things I really wanted to discuss is about our relationship, as in the father and child relationship. At another time, we can discuss the father and daughter relationship, or maybe the father and son relationship, which I think is really, really important. So what I wanted us to be able to look at today is there are definitely different resources that, different people are pushing out there to celebrate, fatherhood. But I felt, within the community, correct me if I'm wrong, we usually don't have the positive information. We usually, hi Tina, thanks very much for joining us. We are definitely discussing fatherhood for today. And what we were sharing is within the Black and minority communities, we don't usually have people celebrate fathers. There is already that stigma in regards to fatherhood. And I think for today, what we wanted to do is to be able to, tease out, discuss some of the things that maybe some fathers have been able to do well, and also to be able to help the younger ones coming so that they would be able to, thanks very much, Tina. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I'll definitely claim it. Okay. Yeah, as I think it's an important day for me to be able to claim it. I'm not sure about the different glasses. I really wonder what you've got in the glasses, but yeah, I presume maybe water, or maybe you've got some juice in there. Tina, I'm being silly, but yeah, just ignore me for now. So yeah, in regards to fatherhood, I think, when it comes to the Black and minority communities, we don't usually have the kind of, positive images, reflected of the Black father. And I think sometimes it's wrong because it's not something that happens in every household. Unfortunately, my dad is no more, but I think what is really important is I had a very positive experience in regards to his role of wanting to make sure that maybe my education, I never lacked. I never lacked. So there was always every opportunity for me to be able to attend school, and growing up in Ghana, there was no opportunity for me to, for me to be told that, I was owing school fees, for me to be, told to leave school and go back home or anything like that. So that is one of the things that I definitely remember about, my dad wanting to be a provider. And I think it's really, really, we have to acknowledge what some of our parents did, especially the fathers did in our lives. So what I definitely want to be able to explore as well is if any of you want to be able to join me, to share their experiences about fatherhood. I'm definitely not saying that if you are not comfortable, don't push yourself in. But if you think, you are happy. Whoa. Happy 62nd birthday. Come on, Sam. 62nd is just too much. You know what? If it's a 62nd and I've still got these good looks, I've got a good future, man. So I'll definitely hold it for 62nd. That's a good one. Thank you very much. You being cheeky. But yeah, I think if any of you want to join to be able to share your experiences of fatherhood, maybe I'm more than happy for us to be able to do it that way. But apart from that, I think I wanted us to be able to notice that there is that difficult experiences when it comes to the name of father, within the communities. I think what Amma is saying is, I agree, Nana, fathers in our communities have been given a bad label, but it's important to see from the father's perspective. And that's really, really important. I definitely agree with you, Amma. It's 100% thing, And I say to people, I'm a father, but I also work as a professional. And I think sometimes it depends on where I am. If I am working as a professional, sometimes I feel within myself I'm making a contribution. But when I go to other places where I am in the position of a father, I think there is that label on me, for me to feel that, oh, that's one of those fathers possibly not supporting their household, not supporting their children, or maybe, not being responsible by any means. But the issue there is, how do we change that narrative? How do we definitely change that narrative? And I think it's through these forums, it's through these spaces that other people can actually come on and share, their experiences of what the positive fathers that they ever had. So on Black Next Gen, and if any of you don't know about Black Next Gen, I would say please check out Black Next Gen on YouTube. We run a project there where we talk about Black and minorities. We celebrate many of our people, within the community who are doing amazing things on the Black Next Gen platform. So if you haven't subscribed, go and check that channel, and I'll definitely encourage you, Hopefully by the end of the weekend, we will bring up a new video that is celebrating fathers. And this is different people talking about their relationship, about their fathers, or their relationship with their fathers. And I think it's really, really important. We need to talk about these positive, relationships so that people will tend to, appreciate and understand what exactly our relationships are like. So, at this moment in time, I may be asking myself, what do my children or what does my wife or maybe my family deem of me as a father? I think one of the things that we all have to take into consideration is fatherhood is never taught. Nobody teaches you how to be a father. By the time we notice, we are definitely inheriting it, possibly because, we are supporting our wives, we are supporting our partners, or we've been told that, we are responsible for some child, or we are in a position to look after a child. And I think that is where straight away we realize, or we become fathers. Nobody teaches us to be fathers. If we compare, or if men compare themselves, hi Cheryl, thanks very much for joining us. We are discussing fatherhood, for today. And, some of the very few things that we've talked about is, within the Black and minority communities, fathers are really not celebrated apart from Father's Day. There is that big stigma on us as fathers, but equally what we believe is on Black Next Gen, or also on SAT platforms, we want to celebrate our fathers. We want to celebrate the very good stories that we have or we've had from our fathers, so that other people can hear, these positive stories. So I will definitely encourage, if any of you want to join me, by all means, let me know. I will definitely, get you to join the group as well. But what I was definitely discussing is, within the communities, by sharing these positive stories, I'm sure other people will take that step back, because, if we are not sharing them, people wouldn't know, if people, if we are not sharing these stories, people will definitely not know what exactly is going on within our community. So I would definitely urge you, we are definitely coming up, with a video, with a compilation of the different roles of fathers, people talking about their relationship with their fathers. And it's not just for Father's Day, but we believe that, by people hearing these positive stories, I think we released a video of one of the guys that we interviewed, and what he did say, and I think it was, he was a pharmacist. Oh, yeah, I think he's a pharmacist. And what he did say was his father actually had to drive a taxi in order for him to be able to supplement his income to take him to a private school. And the question that we may be asking ourselves is, do all fathers do that? Or is it something that some fathers will do, other fathers will not do? Whilst we talking, I will be reading your comment as well. So Joyous Cupcakes is saying, so true. Most fathers are in the journey of growing and discovering themselves whilst taking on the responsibility of leading the home and having answers. And that is bang on, I have a chronology that I always discuss with different groups, in the sense that when children are growing up, what we do realize is, for girls, straight away you have a doll. And straight away you are told you are the mommy, you have cooking sets. You have the opportunity to learn the skill of being in the kitchen. You have the skill of cooking and all that. Boys don't. You've given a toy, you've given a racing car. Go and race your cars around. Get a football. Play your ball around. There is no family responsibility that is placed on you in your games. So for that reason, you don't have the opportunity to learn any of these skills. And when you are told, oh, that's your wife, as part of the games, boys become shy. We run away. No, we don't want it. Or maybe that's your partner or whoever it is. We don't want that. And we don't develop those skills. And what we do realize is, by the time we get to adolescent stage, how many positive black role models do we have? And I'm not saying we are limited, but, within our community, sometimes we struggle to be able to see the positive black role models, So these are the things that when our adolescents, or maybe when our young boys get to those stages, they struggle, and all that they may have to do is to explore their teenage years by themselves. Unfortunately, if there is no a father in the home, if there is no a dad in the home, it becomes very difficult for our children to be able to learn the ropes at those stages. And what you do realize is, boys are definitely, they grow into their own habits. Boys tend to believe that being that macho, being of that, placed on them by society, is what makes them a man. And by the time you notice, you have a 19, 20-year-old boy who is definitely not learned any skill of being a father, and we will definitely agree that by the time a female turns the age of 19, in terms of maturity, they are definitely way, matured than the male, than the boy. Boys will still be boys until one day somebody tells them, you are the father. And the question is, how do they become fathers? When there is a pregnancy, the man doesn't know anything about it until they are told, oh, there is a baby on the way. Then you have to assume, people sometimes even doubt, and that is something that we're not going to talk about it. But sometimes, is it because boys get terrified? Is it because these young men become terrified, and that's the reason why, they run away from, Sam is saying true. The idea of responsibility does not come in time. Yes, it doesn't come in time, because sometimes we haven't got anybody to tell us, or anybody to give us that help for us to be able to know what we need to be responsible for. So by the time you notice you are into your stages, you may have one child, you've had 2 children, and boys are still playing. Boys are still being boys, while they are expected to be fathers. So it's a very, very tricky area in terms of growing up. Yes, we may have our females, we may have a woman, straight away assume that role of mothers, but fatherhood becomes a very difficult, a very new experience for us, which over time it becomes very, do I stay or do I have to leave in order for me to be able to have the space to play my PS4 or play my games that I'm usually used to? So if we are going back to the cycle in terms of chronology that I was talking about, so when we are being told that there is a baby on the way, you usually don't have that opportunity to have that bond until, the baby comes. And during that stage of pregnancy, mom goes to antenatal, mom do all the health visiting appointment and midwife appointment. That may not be included. That may not be part of it, because society may be saying to you, you have to go out there and provide. So by the time the child comes, there is really not that bond that, the child may have formed with unborn baby, or maybe when the dad has done his very best to be there. Mom is saying, I'm getting these aches, I'm getting these, hormonal changes. We've got no clue. We've got no idea of what's going on until, mom gives us the opportunity to possibly know what exactly is going on. And when the baby comes, what happens to us? We then being told, what, the babies come. Sometimes, I don't know whether there's a universal thing, but yeah, I had to go and stay in another room because, my wife had to be in the room with the child, and sometimes when we have mother-in-laws joining us as well, it becomes a bit of a tricky thing where you are told, the child will be the responsibility of the wife as well as the mother-in-law. So in terms of the whole upbringing, dad or maybe fathers do not really have the opportunity to do that. And guys, if you think otherwise in regards to what I'm discussing, or maybe you think, yeah, Nana, this is bang on, this is the experiences, some of the questions I will be asking is, what can we do differently? And do we think some of the areas that we've mentioned, is it a universal thing? That we think, okay, these are some of the learning, these are the things that we can do differently in order for us to be able to be part of maybe the pregnancy, for us to be part of the child, at that very young age. And one of the things that I was discussing with a colleague is when our children are even growing up, mom is the one who may, have the opportunity to attend all the appointment. Father, yes, let's look at paternity leave. I don't know whether it's 2 weeks, my kids are definitely older, but yeah, 2 weeks, mom, 9 months. So in terms of bonding opportunities, fathers are definitely at a big disadvantage. But the reality is we still need to bond. We need to, find every opportunity to be part of the household. So the question is, what can we do creatively in order for us to be able to, be part of the child's upbringing? And I think this may include the likes of, fathers taking turns by dropping kids off at nursery, fathers playing with children, and also helping with maybe bedtime routines. And, in some cultures, fathers are not possibly encouraged to even bathe their own children. They see it as, no. That's the mother's responsibility. That is maybe the mother-in-law or maybe the grandmother's responsibility. And the question is, how do fathers learn? How do we get the opportunity, to learn all these things? But I think from my point of view, those are memories, those are times that we are able to help and bond with our own children. And in as much as, I may not be discussing just my own children, I think, reading the bedtime stories, having the opportunity to go down the parks, getting the opportunity, be silly with the kids, for those of us, or maybe for those of you. Sam is saying what? Presence is key, I believe, in every aspect. And that's really, really true. But on the other hand as well, in as much as we may need to be present, we are also looking at providing for the household as well. So, it's a very difficult balance. There is that point in time where, society places it on you that you need to be out there and provide. Let me have a quick pause and read what Mommy has sent in here. I think you are right with your analogy. However, I think for some of the things that is out of your control, being intentional when it comes to involvement helps. Yeah, and I think it's important, I may say being intentional in as much as you could make that step of being intentional. I think it takes that bold step of wanting to be intentional, but also wanting to be intentional could also mean, your wife, your partner is equally allowing you to be intentional. Because the reality is, if you want to do it, and within the culture that you are in, you are told that is not your responsibility. Society may frown on you. I remember a situation where, we went to a gathering and, one of my child had sold herself, and I had to go and change the child. And I was being told by the ladies, in that session, no, that's not your role. Let's go and let's do that for you. But, those are the things. In as much as I may say that is an intention, I don't think it's even an intentional role. That's my responsibility because I'm the father. I brought the child there. But, sometimes the culture, our society, does not make it possible for you to be able to assume that intentional role, wanting to be back home, to be part of the child's maybe bedtime routine. Yes, it's good. But on the other hand, when you've got the bills to pay, what do we do? And I think that's where, just like Mommy is saying, we have to strike that balance, being intentional. So if it is out of the week, 7 days in a week, you can only be present 4 times in the week to be able to do the bedtime routine, then definitely the children have to be told, these are the times that dad will be around to be able to do the bedtime routines. And I'll possibly say those are, my views about being intentional. And Mommy, please correct me if you think otherwise, or you think, we can develop it further. And equally in terms of maybe, weekend, if you're not working weekend, create the opportunity. You play games, with the children. And these are the memories that the children will forever cherish. I think I was looking on Governor B's story today, and he was actually washing his car. And what you did realize is his son, a very young lad, about 4 or 5 years, I think maybe younger, had actually come and was also washing the car, And I think what he did realize is, in as much as sometimes it can be a nuisance, I want to do it quickly and move on. These are the quality memories. These are the things that the children will ever grow with, And what I did post that comment in there to Governor B to say that, these are the memories that our children will forever grow and remember. And he may then pass on, this particular knowledge to his own children. So I think maybe in my view about being intentional, I think, those are the things where maybe if we are doing the gardening as fathers, yes, you call the son, come and help me with the raking, come and help me pull this, and the children seeing those things. Those are the memories that I believe our fathers or maybe our children want to see of us. I don't know whether we can move on into a new space where we want to believe that there is a new trend in terms of fatherhood, where people are doing things different. I think that is what it's coming to light. There are more younger people who are wanting to be more involved with fatherhood, and I'll definitely say if that is being your line of experience, let me know, but I am very, very convinced that, as people used to say, my father maybe was a big no. I'm not definitely discussing my one, but, that's been some of the general comments. My father was, when dad is coming, you run away, you hide, you make sure that things are done, by the book, in check, because there is more or less a one way. The word we use is conversation, and you ask yourself, if it's a conversation, why is it one way? And society has made us to believe that fathers needs to be feared. You need to, your dad is coming, dad will be checking on you if there is anything in terms of scolding or in terms of, challenging any of our children's negative behaviors. And I think those are the things that sometimes society places on us as fathers, and it can make it very, very tricky. And let me share something interesting that, my son brought to my attention yesterday when we went to Tesco. So we went to Tesco to do some shopping, and immediately we went past, I don't know whether it's a celebration hour. He said to me, yo, Papa, why is it that they are only selling alcohol as Father's Day presents, And it really dawned on me to say, what, those are the things. There is that label, there is that stereotypical view that, that is the best way to celebrate fathers. That is the best gift, to celebrate our fathers. I will definitely ask, the very few in there, what are some of the presents that you think, a good father deserves on a Father's Day. If it is not alcohol, if it is not a shirt, yeah, if we've got some, I know, yeah, for the fathers here, tell me some of the presents that we usually get. And yeah, you know, alcohol, shirts, socks, what perfumes, you know, those are the things which are very common, you know, that we usually do get as fathers, and not to compare to what our wives or our partners or our females get for Mother's Day, you know. Daddy is always stressed. So I believe, you know, I don't know, but you see, I looked at it from maybe a social work perspective. So if I am seeing alcohol as the only present that are being given to dad, then dad is pushed. Dad is, you know, pushed to the position to possibly go out there and be drinking alcohol. And you'll be asking yourself, is it something that most men would do, or rather society is the one that makes them, you know, do that? I know some is saying, well, dad is always stressed, needs alcohol to losing up. I don't know, but yeah, guys, if you think that is what you, yeah, if you agree with Sam's view on it, please let me, you know, let me know. But the question is, so what if dad does not drink alcohol, right? So how does that then lose up? Yeah. Maybe I'm putting the same question to Sam. You know, if dad does not drink alcohol, how can dad losing up, especially with a kid, with a wife? And possibly I am looking at it from the social work perspective, just like I was saying, that if dad is giving the alcohol to drink, or maybe dad takes on that present as, you know, the best Father's Day present, and he drinks, and then it may lead to the likes of what? Domestic violence within the relationship. Dad becomes chaotic. His behaviors are none to be emulated, you know. Let me read. Joel's Cupcakes is saying, experience days with dad is a great present. And that's brilliant. You know, guys, Joel's Cupcakes, if you've not, you know, if this is the first time, go check Joel's Cupcakes on Instagram. She does that amazing cakes, okay, for the different occasions. Do check her out on Instagram, and I'm sure she will definitely be able to run you a good deal. Well done. Thanks very much for joining us, Joel's Cupcakes. Okay, so what Joel's Cupcakes is, or you could have gotten a treat box from, well, I believe we could have definitely come down to Joel's Cupcakes for treats and cakes, and that's good, you know. But the thing is, how many, you know, people are not pushed to accept the likes of maybe alcohol or drinks or socks as the only present? You know, it feels like we are not allowed to consider any other present, you know, during Father's Day. And that makes it very difficult, you know. And what I was saying initially is, if the alcohol are the things that are given to fathers, and our fathers, especially the very young ones, tend to drink, becomes chaotic, you know, the police get called in, you know. Yeah. Sam is saying what? I need to tag my wife. Okay, I'll leave that one to Sam to do that with Joel's Cupcakes. Yeah, and I think it's important. We need to support each other in regards to that. But yeah, I think it's important, and just like Joel's Cupcakes just say, it's important that we consider other kind of presents, you know. So Joel's Cupcakes is suggesting that you can definitely get a box of treats for dad, you know, something sweet. Let's try it. Let's get it done, you know. If you have other suggestions, you know, bring up the present ideas. Let's see, what do you think are the ideal presents that we can consider for Father's Day, you know. I think it's important for us to be able to consider other things. But yeah, when you go out there to Tesco or maybe other shops, just go down the anniversary aisle or the celebration aisle, maybe between today and Sunday, and check out what you can definitely see out there, you know. I think Sam says, what, no more books, we want money. Well, it depends on how much money you want, because what you do realize is most of the money that you want are the monies that what maybe the children may have taken from you, or equally, you know. If mom is happy to give money or equally, I think what we were discussing, hi there, I definitely have a very important person, you know. Sister Moch, thanks very much for joining us. We are discussing, you know, fatherhood within the Black and minority communities. And one of the things that we were discussing was the kind of presents that greetings, greetings, greetings. I salute to you, my dear. Thank you very much for joining us. One of the things that we were definitely discussing was a kind of presents that fathers do get on Father's Day. And I did share that I was down in Tesco yesterday, and on the celebrating aisle, it was just alcohol. You know, that was the main thing that you could see. And my son, very young lad, 12 years, he was able to spot that straight away and say, yo, Papa, check what they've displayed over there. It's full of alcohol. Is that the only thing that fathers can get on Father's Day? And I did discuss it further with the other people in the group that yes, in as much as some people may want to, give alcohol out, well, alcohol needs to be consumed. People will consume it. And when the alcohol is consumed, behaviors become funny. Then, fathers behave in different ways. That then reaffirms that, the negative stereotypes that are put on our fathers, especially for those of us in the black and minority communities. Joyous Cupcakes is saying, for the experience days, I meant activity day out, even picnic, to spend the quality time with that. And that is brilliant, I don't know whether sometimes these things are deemed that, it should be the fathers organizing it. So maybe we may have to take it a step further where we are asking ourselves, how many of us mothers, how many of our wives, how many of us, mothers or grandmothers are out there who are able to organize things for fathers, or maybe organize these things for our sons to be able to come out there and enjoy. Usually dad are the ones, or dad is the one who is meant to organize a day out to go to the park, to spend time with the kids. But I believe, if we've got, I know that we've definitely got some on the platform as well. But I believe if we are being told, on this day, we're taking you to the park, let's go and have a kickabout. These things are organized for us. Let's get the picnics done, in terms of the organizing. I'm sure fathers will definitely enjoy it. I would. I will definitely enjoy that. And yeah, I will still come back to you guys and say, you've got other ideas that you think, could be other ways of celebrating Father's Day. I know people may think about what? Buying a book, some suggested money. I think it's important, but it's about the quality, it's about the things that fathers will cherish forever. And that could be, you saying to the father, I cherish your hustle, because society makes us think that we need to hustle. Fathers need to go out there, be the ones grinding, be the ones, being the breadwinners. And we've got situations where our mothers, our wives, our sisters, and, our younger ones. Okay, so Urban Goddess is saying what? Do children get to see much hobbies in black? Do children get to see much hobbies in black? I don't, men. Are you able to retype, Stamut, please retype your comment on that, because I'm really, really keen on that. But if we are looking at hobbies within our communities, I really believe instances where fathers are doing, some bit of time at the park, playing football, if you've got the skill, if you've got the ability to do a little run, let the kids win, and those are the things. As kids get older, they help make breakfast and lunch for that. Boom. Those are simple things that we do take it for granted. But Mommy, thank you very much for sharing that. But I believe, just like you said, we do take those things for granted. If I believe that mothers would want to enjoy a breakfast in bed, why would fathers say no? And I think we make it so we put fathers in very, difficult holes where we don't have the opportunity to relax and enjoy ourselves. Joyous Cupcakes is saying, so true. Mothers must help the children to organize something for the dad. And that's important, So if the dads are the ones driving, the family everywhere, and by any chance, mom is driving as well, or any of the children can also drive, or worst case, book a taxi. Daddy, this is your day off. Dad, Pop, this is your day off. We are taking you to a place. We just want you to relax, because I'm sure we are still humans, and the human in us, sometimes we will definitely want to relax. And guys, I will definitely encourage that. I am not using this platform as a moan, but I definitely want us to be able to use this platform as a creative space, where we can definitely enjoy, share ideas. So Urban Goddess is saying children need to see fathers' hobbies that they will naturally support with gifts. And that is really important. So by any means, if fathers are into what? Let's say they go down to play rugby. Yeah, buy him a rugby t-shirt, or maybe what? A ball, whatever it is. If father is into what? Basketball. Yeah, why not buy them something that they can use towards the game or the hobby that they enjoy? If even it is walking that father enjoys, fathers can definitely, the family can buy, sneakers, trainers, buy an airport. Oh, dad, you can use that when you go walking. And I'm sure, the fathers in us, we will definitely, enjoy that when we realize that, the family are also looking at our hustle and definitely appreciating that as well. Joyous Cupcakes is saying, making cards affirming how we appreciate fathers. Words are powerful and stick with the fathers when they see written words, how the children see their father. And that's really, really important. I definitely agree more than that with you, Joyous Cupcakes. I think it's important. The words that we can have from our children, especially the very little ones. I work as a social worker, just like I've always said. And I've got some drawings from a very little young people that I support, and it's just the attempts, and I'm still not able to trust them away. I'm not able to put them away because I think the word on there, I think is really, really important. Mommy saying when children see their father celebrated, chances are they will carry that on when they are adults. Okay, so this is where I may be asking ourselves, so what is stopping us from celebrating our fathers then? Just like I said, on the media, we've really not seen that much adverts. Okay. We've really not seen that much adverts. So that maybe the children even recognize or even become aware that Father's Day is coming. And I think that is the only day that is what? Universal, that is global. Mother's Day, I don't know the reason why, some people in the UK celebrate it differently from some people in other parts of the world. But yeah, Father's Day is this Sunday, is universal. Urban Goddess is saying, what do children back home give their fathers? And I think it's important. I'm not sure when we were growing up, or maybe when I was growing up, we had any knowledge about, I didn't have any knowledge about Father's Day. I think the only present that we could think about was our father's birthday, and I think, maybe that is something that we need to reflect on as well. Is it something that maybe we've learned, from the different places that we've come from, as in, is that part of our culture? Father's Day, do we really need it? Do we really need to celebrate our fathers? I think we definitely need it. If we are celebrating our mothers, if we are celebrating our children, I'm sure we need to celebrate our fathers. And it may not even need to be Father's Day before our fathers are celebrated. We can definitely reach out to the father, to the uncle, to the mentor, who has definitely helped or who has definitely been there for our younger ones, for our children, or equally for the family who came around to help change the tide. Uncle Bob next door, who definitely comes around or maybe calls the kids or call the family during the family barbecue, just to make sure that the family is taken. It's really important. Sometimes we reach out, sometimes not just to the biological fathers. We can reach out to these community leaders as well, and make them understand that we definitely cherish the support. Because the reality is sometimes when the light bulb goes off, apart from, situations where people may have and, call an electrician to come and fix it, you do maybe sometimes call some family friend, some neighbor who does come and fix it. And if that's the case, Father's Day, why don't we buy a present and give it to these people who help us, in times of need? Mommy saying, yes, that's true. When growing up, there was no Father's Day or Mother's Day celebration. And yeah, just like I was saying, in as much as these things may not have been the norm in some parts of the world, what is happening is we've come to celebrate it, and I think it's really, really important. Oh, Sister Mutis banged it in there. We need to create a more culturally centered idea of Father's Day, vesting Western constructs that are about drinking alcohol. Boom. And that is the most important thing, So if we are looking at what, a more Afrocentric way, or looking at it from our culturally informed way, how best, what are some of the things that we can do to celebrate our fathers from a more cultural perspective. Guys, let's bang it in there. I'm really enjoying, that contribution from Sister Moat, Urban Goddess. I think I will be asking the question, what do we do to make our fathers feel like the princes, like the kings, the very valuable people that they are within the very, communities, or the very, royalties, the very traditions, or the very, families that they've come from? What are some of the traditional ways, some of the cultural ways that we can show in order for us to be able to appreciate, our fathers? Sam is saying showing appreciation that daddy is first. Well, that's important. We can definitely do that. But also, that's important, celebrating our family values and morals. And that may include what? Fathers being there, to tell us the stories, to tell us about their own childhoods, being given that space to talk about how their day has been. And it may not be Father's Day, but sometimes reflecting and being asked a question, how are you, Dad? How are you, Dad? I think it's important, in as much as Dad may always be on the go, being asked the question, how are you? How was your day? In as much as maybe we may have the opportunity to be offered, or maybe we can have the opportunity to go get some cooking done, whatever we want to get. Yes, God willing, we may be able to have it, but equally having the family coming in to check in on us. Because the reality is men do struggle, but we don't talk about it, So we definitely need those spaces, okay, to be able to talk about those things, talk about our challenges, okay. And I think, being acknowledged by the family, being acknowledged by the community, and just like Urban Goddess is talking about, creating the space where it's going to be more culturally aware, creating that space where we can all come into these spaces where we know that there is less judgment, where we know that our values, our norms are celebrated by these people, are celebrated by the community that we have, I think it's a very important thing that we need to be looking at. And I would definitely say for those of you who are possibly thinking about business ideas, these are the things that people can do easily. Father's Day within the black and minority communities, we can definitely put that on, and boom, it becomes a bash. That's business setup. Sister Muti is saying it comes from excluding men in the childbirth process years ago. So men don't naturally mother other than men. Okay, let me read it. Men don't naturally mentor other men as new fathers like women do with new mothers. Yes, and I think, Urban Goddess, thank you very much for sharing this. So this is something that I did raise earlier when we started this discussion, to say that men by birth, once we're going through our, childhood, adolescent stages, we are given balls. When we get to the adolescent stages, we are told, go and run around, go and spend time with your friends. There is nothing about family norms, nothing about family values that you are taught. I actually have a video that we may be posting out by tomorrow on Black Next Gen. And that is a very important video that I will recommend. If you haven't subscribed to the Black Next Gen project on YouTube, please do, because one of the young lads that I interviewed there, he is a assistant head teacher, and he's talking about the fact that, some years ago, fathers used to, go out with their sons, go out with their children to teach them the ropes. This is the situation where we don't have fathers mentoring their own children. Men are so busy, and for that reason, children choose to do their own things. They don't have the positive role models for them to be able to learn. So from that very early childhood, from birth through the stages, I am sure, I think, Urban Goddess, I definitely need to reach out to you so that we can definitely have a session. Please, guys, Urban Goddess has got, a very important YouTube page. Please, guys, reach out to her. I think it's God Kush TV. These are some of the issues that are discussed on the channel, on Sister Moot's channel. It's called God Kush TV. Please reach out and definitely subscribe to help that channel grow as well. But definitely, I think, I will definitely reach out to you so that, we talk about some of these things. So please connect with the gift of manhood. You are both speaking the same language. Boom. I will definitely do that after this Yeah, I will definitely do that after this live. Hi there. Thank you very much for joining us. We are definitely talking about fatherhood. We've only got 10 minutes, but some of the things that we were discussing was about, Father's Day. We went down the Tesco aisle, or maybe, hi, thanks very much for joining us. Yeah, we went down the Tesco celebration aisle, and all that we saw was alcohol, and is that the only present that we felt that, fathers could have for Father's Day? And we've had different, contributions from people on this platform, and it's been amazing. We talked about what? Children making breakfast for dad, children making, going out with dad. And we talked about, why don't you hire a taxi if mom cannot drive, or if mom can drive? Dad, have the chance, sit around, we will drive you around today. Create a picnic for dad so that dad can join you on that day, on that picnic. And I think it's important that there is a point in time where the family, mom, the children do check up on dad, because culturally, men are made to assume that constant go status. We never get a chance to be looked after, and I think it's important, given the opportunity, we can step back. If we are looking at Father's Day coming, Evan God has definitely talked about, an interesting thing where her contribution was, why don't we create a culturally, aware environment where men from our black and minority background can actually come and meet, so that they could be celebrated as a kings, as a princess, as, as a royalties within the different communities that we come from. And I think it's really, really a brilliant idea. And I'm definitely putting it out there for those of you, who are into businesses, and that can be your own thing, where you create this function, and it may not just be on Father's Day. It could be created any time of the year on a monthly basis. Treat it, let's pamper dad, Father's Day, or maybe Father's Month, get pampered, bring the fathers in, because fathers do take mothers out for pampering, right? So if there's the opportunity for fathers to also be pampered, I believe is important. We have the situation where mental health within the black and minority community is, really spiking. But the issue is, who do men talk to? It's important. Who do men talk to? I know females, women, mothers have the opportunity to possibly speak to their mothers. They do have the opportunity to speak to their friend. Maybe the very trusted ones who may not just go and do a spill. They may have, networks that they definitely, speak to. But sometimes we ask ourselves, my children do ask me sometimes, Papa, who is your friend? Men usually, I may be wrong, and if you are a man out there who thinks, what, I've definitely got a whole lot of networks around me. Yes, that's good. But equally, how much of positive conversations are we having? Especially being able to go into that closet when things are very difficult, for us to be able to raise our hands to say, what, I'm struggling. Yeah. And I think it's really, really important. And we definitely discussed the fact that in as much as we are celebrating Father's Day, we need to make sure that we take into consideration the other people who may not be fathers, are equally males within the communities. They may be doing things to support our children. It could be the Sunday school teacher. It may be, the community person who is supporting the kids, supporting the boys group, looking after the boys, looking after the lads. There is reach out projects. What they're doing is they look after young boys. Okay, I definitely take my heart out for them. And yeah, tomorrow I'm definitely possibly, if not tonight, we are releasing a video. And if you're not subscribed to the Black Next Gen YouTube page, make sure you do. But we are bringing out, an interview that we had with one of the directors of the Reach Out Project. Boom, young lad. And all that they are doing is they are supporting our boys. They are supporting the young black boys. Okay? Not to say other young people do not need support, but we need positive role models within our communities. So in as much as, we are talking about all these, we want to make sure that maybe as a woman amongst us, or maybe as a mothers amongst us, yeah, let's help to tell the positive stories of our fathers. Let's not make, maybe some of the differences that we do have with our fathers become the only negative stories that our children tend to hear. Because if mom is always, belittling dad, if mom is always speaking negatively about dad, Why would the children think otherwise? Why would the children crown him? Why would they see the royalty in him? You know? So those are some of the things that I will definitely put out there. I'm definitely not here to preach today, but we are looking at how we can create the positive role models for our men. And unfortunately, if our mothers are, you know, talking down to dad, unfortunately, if we look at situations where dad may not be the primary carer for our children, and mom has the opportunity to be the primary carer, and the kind of messages that are consumed by the children, you know, it's always negative, the lazy father, you know, and all those things. I always say, let's spare the children of that negative stories, you know. Yeah, I know it can be very difficult, but the reality is the children can only celebrate their dad as a king only if they are hearing that positive stories. So just to round it up, we've only got just about 4 minutes. But just to round it up, you know, guys, I think this is something that I want us to be having on a more regular basis to talk about some of these things. I recently went on a festival where I saw young lads, you know, worshipping, and this is young black lads. I put it out on my Instagram page, and I'll definitely encourage, you know, you watch it. And that will be another video that is coming out as well. You know, this is young lads worshipping, you know, praising God. And the question that I did ask myself is, how much do we invest in our young people, our children, especially the boys' view about religion? You know, do we give them that space for them to be able to share how they feel, what they believe in? You know, the questions that they may have, which may not be answered by their peers. Because you can just imagine an 18-year-old going to their mates and say, yo, you know, talk to me about God. How cool is it? When we are looking at our young lads, they are definitely forming their sense of identity during those stages. So equally, if they are definitely looking at it to say that it's not cool to talk about religion, it's not cool, you know, whether you're a Muslim, whether, you know, you're a traditionalist, whatever you believe in, faith, the concept about faith by itself. I believe in God, but the question is, when I was a teenager, was it that cool to go to my mate and say, yo, you know, let's talk about God, you know, let's worship? No, I wasn't doing that. And I believe other young lads don't do that. But just like I said, on my Instagram page, I did post out a video of young lads worshipping, you know. I did post out a picture of I think it is 3 black lads, you know, straight away in durags, yeah, on a church program. And I said to them, yo, guys, the reason why I want to have, you know, a photo with you guys is I love the stereotypes because of your durags. When people see you, straight away, they will pass a judgment. So with a parent amongst us, I will definitely encourage, as our boys grow, especially with our boys, yeah, as Father's Day is coming, let's make the focus on the fathers, which is good. But with our next generation coming up, I will definitely want us to invest in them. Even with a younger lad, with the younger boys, when the 5-year-old wants to cry, yeah, let him cry. When the 10-year-old wants to cry, let him cry. You know, and not being told boys don't cry. I wish I could swear, but I won't. But the reality is, let's allow our boys to be boys. And with the young boys, let's mentor them. Let's help them grow. You know, let's definitely find the positive role models amongst, you know, our community so that they can hold our boys together, so that they can bring them up. Because sometimes they do struggle. And especially our boys in our community. They need somebody to bounce off their energy. There's so much labels that they have on them. They've got so much labels when they go to school. And when they are out in the community, even how they dress, being on the durag straight away, you know, bring a concern. Are they selling drugs? No, they're not. That's their style of dressing, you know. So all these things, we need our young lads to be held. And I'm sure there are lots of platforms that support these kind of positive relationships amongst our lads. And our lads can definitely redeem the positive images that we have as kings, as princes, that we hope possibly we will continue to be celebrated, not just on Father's Day, but throughout the year, so that our next generation of boys, our next generation of fathers can actually treat their mothers, can treat their wives and their children as queens and princesses. And I believe the more we do it for them, the more the narrative that we have amongst us as a community may change. Guys, I think it's bang on 9 o'clock. Just like I said, it was going to be just an hour. We will have the opportunity to be discussing this time and time again. But any point in time, if you want us to discuss any of these things, post in my DM. It's Black Next Gen. And I'll definitely encourage you, if this is the first time that you've joined us, yo, it's my birthday today. I'm still celebrating it. Happy birthday to me. I've definitely not forgotten. My wish was to get anybody who came into contact with me today to reach out to other people and ask them to subscribe to the Black Next Gen YouTube page. We want to grow. And these are the kind of stories that we tell on that page. Okay? So, I will definitely say a big thank you to everybody who joined. It's been lovely meeting people of the same, understanding of the reason why we think we need to change the narrative. We need to tell our stories. And if you are by any means, celebrating Father's Day on Sunday, yeah, use some of the ideas. Go to the picnics, go to the parks, get Dad to relax, If you can do the breakfast for Dad, please get it done, If you can do anything for Dad to feel different, speak to him. How are you feeling today? I'm doing the gardening for you today. Get him a glass of water. It's just your day. It's just because you are Dad. You are my superhero. Let us feel silly by all your praises. Guys, I'm not going to take any more of your time. It's been amazing. It's been a blessing. And yeah, Sister Moot, I will definitely reach out to him. And yeah, we will take it from there. Guys, have the best of the weekend. And happy Father's Day to you all and to all our princesses and our queens. We definitely respect you. And yeah, we will meet again once more. Bye for now.